Rivian, Ford. What else? One thing we guarantee to give you guys is a host of technical problems. My computer blew up, and I'm on my laptop, which is very hard to stream from. And Brian, what's going to be your technical problem?
So I am out of town. I am on the road. I am streaming from a device that is not my usual jam. And fantastically, magically, it's running quite poorly. I don't think the problem is my connection.
Here's my first technical problem.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. So let us know in the chat.
I just had a dog kick in the door. Where are you, Brian?
I am in Santo Domingo, in the Dominican Republic.
That sounds awesome. I'm not. So what's the temperature like there?
A balmy mid-80s. Not my jam,
Oh.
but, it's better than... I'd rather be a little too warm today than a little too cold.
I hear you on that. Okay. Well, you want to get right into this because we got to get this going before these computers die on us. At least mine is. And you may have, I don't know, internet connection. Maybe some tanker's going to run over the internet connection at the bottom of the ocean or something.
He says without getting onto it. Oh, getting a lot of echo from Brian. Okay, well, Bear, go ahead and start on that first one. I'm going to troubleshoot real quick.
I think that echo might just be from the room we had talked about. You're in a very echoey room,
I'm in a large room. Is it that, guys, or is it a technical echo? I could also get closer to the microphone if that helps, but anyway.
That really was creepy. Really a little creepy. But I did kind of like it. So do it again.
No.
All right. So our first article here is on a new EV that Chrysler has announced. This would be their only. And whether or not it actually comes out, it's the Chrysler Airflow. I don't think it's a bad looking car. The problems I see with it is, one, it's a Chrysler. I know that's kind of mean, but yeah, that's part of the problem. The other thing is that it's just a concept. And how do we feel about concept cars, Brian?
We love them because they're always super real and never have any problems that way.
Never, never, never. And they always come out just like the concept.
Yes, they
don't
do.
They?
Yes, they do.
All right. Hey, Brian, are you getting any chats in yet that you want to talk about?
Yes, they are having difficulty with all of my sound. So I'm going to try holding the mic and see if that improves things. Maybe it will.
Oh, it does sound a lot better on my end. Creepy, but still good.
John Parsons says I need to reboot. I do not. I rebooted just before. If the problem is on the technical side, it is the lack of capacity of this laptop. And I apologize for that. So let's...
And when you get that close, I do hear a little bit of feedback.
Oh, it might be coming from that. No? Headphones? No. Anyway.
I don't know. Anyway, let's see. John Stutchbad, are you going to cover Rivian CFO and CEO leaving the company? We will talk about that for a brief minute or two and see what you guys think about that. Jordan's here. He says, hey, B&B, just joined. McKay is here. Hey, McKay Thomason. Audio's all good. You guys are fine. Don't worry about it. I guess that's from my side. I'm not getting too much feedback from your side, so sorry, Brian. It's the DR. JKM, you guys sound just fine. So I'm getting a lot of good audio comments, which is great. So moving on to great audio, I love those German bands. And how about German vehicles like the Volkswagen Microbus?
So pretty, so pretty. The lines they put on the drawing make it look less, more cool than it's going to be. It's still going to be just kind of a van. It's very different from the concept. How do we feel about concepts again? I forget.
I feel like they don't exist. It's vaporware. That's my. Yeah. I'm just not going to cut around the corners there and be nice about it.
Yeah, because that's
so. But this one is supposed to be revealed very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. Yeah. And is due in 2023. So that's going to be a hard one to follow up on because when you have vaporware like that, you got to give it like 6 to 10 years. That's my opinion.
Well, it could be real. It's boring enough once you strip away all the fancy lines they added to try and hide it, but it is boring.
Yes.
But it'll sell well.
Speaking It will. I think it will. It's got a little bit of a different look to it. But speaking of not boring and exciting, we have the Silverado beats the F-150. So Chevy announced their EV Silverado last week, and I swear I only ordered one. Yes, I did. I ordered one because I just want to be in line for stuff that I could be at the beginning. I'm still going to get my Cybertruck, and who knows when the Silverado is actually going to come out. But yes, I did. I did get myself in line for the Silverado. What do you think about that, Brian?
I think that they just gave me notifications. I don't know. This Business Insider article was written real poorly. They don't like it, and and I don't think they get it. I do think it's smart that the Silverado would be built to follow in the footsteps of the Avalanche rather than the Silverado. I think it's something different is what is needed.
Yes, I agree, and I think it's definitely got a lot of avalanche in it. And my
Yeah.
pictures won't even load on my thing. Sorry, guys, for this slowness that I'm going to experience and for Brian's issues. But we did everything we possibly could to make this show must go on. So that's why we're here. There's my picture of the one that looks like the avalanche. So from my understanding, the back window does come down and it does fold down for larger cargo space. I do like that. I mean, I think it was very, very smart that also Chevy followed Ford not being first to market and announcing all their specs so that they can see what the specs are of the Ford and then beat them. And that's just what Tesla's doing with the Cybertruck, because even though they announced it, and this, I'm sure this wasn't their intention, but since Ford announced their specs and then Chevy announced that they're going to have four-wheel steering, it gives Tesla the ability to say, "Oh, well, we're going to have all that," and I know Tesla's putting all that into their Cybertruck. So being first isn't always the best, especially when you've got the technology to just go ahead and beat the last guy. Because this will be a game that goes on forever. I don't know if you're aware of this, Brian, but Ford, Dodge, and uh, Chevy or GM have fought years and years with the most torque in their diesel trucks. And they would add 20 or 30 each year to just beat out the last guy. It
Oh,
was that and towing capacity. And it just went on for years and years. And then the first one to get to 1,000, and then it just continued from there. And it probably will continue. Tesla will come out with the Cybertruck, and then Ford will tweak something, and they'll take a spot on one of the coveted places that you want to have on a truck,
right.
whether it be towing, range, horsepower, torque. There's a number of things. So it'll be a fun game to watch them just compete against each other. Uh, but personally, I like the looks of the Cybertruck more than anything, just because it's so fugly and not fugly at the same time. So it's just so different.
Well, I'll be
So,
honest, they're all growing on me. They're all growing on me.
mhm.
I do appreciate you taking over the lion's share of the chatting. I did put up a graphic saying that if this is insufferable, you can absolutely jump over to Bear's Workshop to get the better sound there. The Let's move on to um, the Tesla China sales. So this is big and this is important. And if please stop. If We know Tesla's run rate is absolutely through the roof in Shanghai. It is it's ridiculous. Shanghai looks like they made about 487,000 for the year, which, if you think back in time, that's what the entire company made the year before. They made 499 and change. Um, each gigafactory, as it ramps, will produce as much as a 500,000 easy. More, I mean, they're really geared for 1 million each, and it's big.
Yeah, even more so the two new factories, which are coming online. Speaking of, that's a good segue there. Um, Here is a screenshot of I dare to hit that play button. But this is from Jeff Roberts. I'm sure many of you are familiar with him. He does the flyovers of Giga Texas, and this factory is due to start opening or producing in the next week or two. It's open. I'm sure they're producing some things in there, but full cars haven't come out of here yet. None that we could actually see. But that factory is going to be run ready within days. For all we know, they could have started today. This video is a day old, and things change quickly. But even better than that one is we go to the next one, and this one is Giga Berlin. Oh, look, I just got a notification. Jeff Roberts just came out with a new video. I forgot to turn off notifications on this computer. But this is Tobias Lind in Germany. This is Giga Berlin. And you can see 4 cars are covered. And I think there's a total of, 39 cars. These are all Model Ys. These all just are brand new baby cars. They were just birthed, as I like to say, when they come out of the factory. And those are brand new. And even though they don't have their official permits to produce these cars, I'm sure they're just test cars. And they will probably be delivered shortly. But that's another 500,000 cars. Not by the end of this year. They've got to ramp up. But they're going to be able to produce 1 to 2 million cars in either one of these factories within 2 years. Probably even more than that.
So to clarify on that, Berlin does have an expanded permit to create up to 2,000 units at a maximum run rate of 500 a week. And apparently what I read is that none of them may be saleable units. And in Texas, they've already built vehicles for testing. So for configuration that have been shipped out to other states. And there's a rumor that there are more inside that are done.
That are deliverable.
Deliverable.
Yes. I believe that there's a lot of deliverables they've been made. It's just part of their test. At some point, they go, okay, you know what? We've tested enough. We're all standing here. Let's make a couple and go put them in that corner. The factory's not yet complete. There's probably places to store them.
Oh,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's keep.
Let's keep moving. I'm going to close these windows as we go, just so that my computer starts. But let's just take a look. You got any chats that you need to bring up?
Yeah, mine are all about sound.
Yeah, what? I didn't hear you. I'm sure that'll come across in my video also.
All about. Somebody asked me to say, "Take me to your leader." So apparently that sounds.
Yeah. Don't Care says, I like the Silverado. I got one already, and for sure I'll buy the BEV Silverado. John Parsons says, the audio all cleared up. I'm seeing this on Bear's Workshop. This is how I'm going to get all your guys over here. This is how I'm going to convert them.
That is his devious plan. And by the way, for those who are checking us out for the first time, this is simulcast on Bear's Workshop, link in the description, and My Tesla Weekend, which is where I am a human robot, apparently.
You are a human robot, and I'm going to distract myself, and it looks like this is my text message that says my computer was delivered. So if you guys can sit around here and wait for 2 hours, I'll get that thing set up if you're cool with that.
Yeah, then you only have to deal with one side of the equation being in bad shape.
Yeah, that's great. I hope that was actually my computer. I was supposed to sign for it, and I left people outside. I know that's kind of mean, but I did. So I just teased everybody. My last tab opened up, which said Lucid, but hope you Lucid guys don't get all upset that we're not going there quite yet. Brian and I have an order, and I didn't mean to tease you with that.
We spin a narrative is what we do. We make it into
yes,
a
we
story.
do.
So let's keep moving.
Rivian.
Yeah.
So Rivian announced their production delivery numbers for 2021, and they were able to produce 1,000 and deliver 920. They produced 1,015, delivered 920, and that's right on target if you take their 54th estimation of production and deliveries. So it's always good to be able to revise your numbers down as you go along. So technically, we're going to say they're right on target. But I'm not complaining about that. That's not bad. They're a startup. They started just before Lucid. Lucid probably doesn't have as many as Rivian. So it's not a bad start. It's just too bad that they promised a lot more, a lot later than when Lucid changed their goal. So they're getting them out the door. What do you think, Brian?
There's a lot of headlines I've seen saying they said they were going to do 1,200 and they didn't. This is a disaster. It's not a disaster. That's for a launch target. That's nothing. That's no big deal. I am a little more concerned that their chief operating officer left at the beginning of production hell, and apparently this was a scheduled departure, which to me makes, if that's true, that's the height of managerial incompetence.
He shouldn't have been in that position if he was planning on retiring. Apparently, he was sticking around for some sort of option kick in. So that looks like greed to me. But hey, maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
Yeah,
But that's what it looks
maybe
like.
that's the only way they could have got him at all.
Hmm. That's true. And maybe he, since everybody knew he was leaving, or everybody who needed to know, maybe he set them up for success. It is possible.
It's possible. It's possible. What's the pony show doing?
The Pony Show. Well, they actually surprised me because I didn't think that stealing. There we go. I'm teasing the Lucid thing again. Fix my tabs. I don't want to keep doing that to you guys. So Ford. I hate calling this the Pony Show because the Mustang is not. That's not a Mustang.
No.
I'd like to call it the Ford Mach-E. Drop the Mustang name.
Yeah.
I still think they would have sold over 27,000 of these.
Yeah.
They're decent vehicles. They killed the Mustang brand by doing that, and that's sad. But let's see, their total sales for the year was for the Mustang was 27,140 Mach-E's, and that's pretty good. They did not start selling these cars until really March, before they actually started leaving the dealerships. And then again, they probably weren't ramped up quite the way that they needed to be. They sold 2,349 in December, which is down slightly month over month, but I don't think December is a good sales month for any company in the Northern Hemisphere.
But it's not about sales months. The dealerships are empty. They'll sell every unit they can build. They can't build them. 2,349. That's like one day of Tesla production.
Oh, that is. You're not exaggerating at all, like a typical Tesla fanboy. You're being very accurate. And Tesla will produce close to that in a day. But that doesn't mean that the Mach-E sales will not improve. I think that they definitely will improve. They'll get better.
It's not the sales. It's the production. It's the manufacturing. It's the bottleneck.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I believe.
I'm sorry. I stepped on it. The production will get better.
Yeah.
As long as they have the materials, of course.
Yeah.
But, it's mismanagement that will only allow them not to have the materials that they need, which is still very possible.
Yeah.
Would you drive one of those
Sure.
if you had a choice of whatever?
Well, it wouldn't be my first choice, but if it was available in a 6 or 7 seat configuration and the price was right, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I don't think they have a 6-seat configuration on this.
They don't, but but that's my criteria for any car, unfortunately.
I have heard you say that a lot of times.
I'm
telling you, you might have better luck getting rid of one of the kids.
I would have an easier time inventing a time machine to go back in time and hand select which of my children doesn't get to live. I say that because I think they're watching this.
Yeah, well, it's always good to make those threats. Mm-hmm. They'll use it against you in court one day.
No, they'll just remind me when they put me in a home.
Yes. One way or another, it's coming back up again.
This home is not very nice, children. Yeah, you should have thought of that. Yeah.
Let's see. Who is this as a scheduled departure regarding the Rivian COO with no plan for replacement? Sounds legit.
Mm-hmm.
Havad says, I'm short lucid all in,
Hmm.
but for now under the water. Um, and Tyler asks, how many predictions for how many Rivian vehicles makes in 2022? You know what? I'm not going to go very high with that. I'm going to go with I. I'm going to I'm going to go with 25,000. I don't think they're quite up to speed yet.
Mm.
Just because they kind of fell flat right at the end when they should have been ready to go. What do you think, Brian?
I would take the under on 25,000. I'd say more like 15.
Yeah, you think I'm being generous,
I
huh?
think you are. I think you
Yeah,
are. Production is
I,
hard.
I'm tr- I'm saying 25,000, trying to be optimistic.
Yeah.
So I hope that they can do better than that. Um, and Havad, this is great to have a hater in here. Hopefully, Lucid will crash, and I'll take my profit on those shorts. Well, good for you. Let's bet for people to fail. Um, Paul Crowdis, the Mach-E won't cannibalize any Mustang sales. It was their plan. I know it was their plan. I I know that they're not getting rid of the Mustang. I just hate to see the Mustang name being used just purely for marketing.
Being
The
watered down
Mustang's
completely.
yeah, the Mustang's always been a two-door sports car type of.
Mm.
I mean, not exotic sports car, but it's
Right.
always
A
been
muscle
a
car.
two-door.
Jeff,
Yeah,
Jeff Songster said he lost faith in Rivian when Amazon chose another source for delivery vans.
I think that they're just hedging their bets.
I think they are.
In they Go ahead.
Oh, I agree. I think they are. I think you get them
Yeah.
where you can find them.
hmm
Okay.
And I think that's something that's also going to slow down the production of the R R1T or what
Yeah.
R1T is that they are also needing to produce these vans for Amazon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and Wilden says to Hobbit, I'm waiting until 19th of January. You either can make you rich or make you lose all your money. Because that is actually a topic of January 19th is a topic for conversation coming up soon. And Jason Pike says the four-cylinder Mustang is just as bad. Oh my God. Yes, it is. I've seen them in the wild, and they're scary. So
Uh,
I've actually seen the four-cylinder Mustangs from I think the 70s or something. Or
oh,
they
those
had
are.
some weak.
It was the Mustang 2. That
That's
I
right.
thought was the
That's
death of the Mustang brand. But Shivanash asked, any info on the Roadster? No, there's no information on the Roadster at this time.
nobody knows.
Yeah,
Even the people in the know don't know.
right. What I did learn from Joe Justice, a former employee, is that there is no Roadster team, just like there is no Model Y team. It's the same team. They move to the project that needs the focus. So it's not like the team is having trouble with a particular issue. Is that there isn't a team.
There isn't the time for the team
Yeah,
to move on to that, or the team needs to finish what they're working on.
right.
Wilden, Wilden, we're going to hold your comment back until we get to January 19th.
Okay. So should we talk about Volvo Polestar?
Yeah, let's do that. Um, I'm going to rub my magic hands and wait for this webpage to load. There we
It
go.
loaded really slow for me too. I don't know what that's about.
Maybe it was because it was trying to service my computer and service your computer at the same exact time.
That's
But
what it
anyway,
was. You can't expect it to connect to two computers at once.
if it had two hands, it could. Um, Polestar increases global presence from 10 to 19 markets. Okay, well, that's nothing fantastic as far as exciting news. I mean, it's good for them because they need to get in as many markets as possible. They met their sales goals, and I'm going to scroll for an hour to get to it. And the story continues. Where was their numbers at?
Oh,
This is what's called being prepared. Normally, I would have a screen like this already brought in front of me, and I wouldn't have to scroll to it. But because everything has to reload constantly because of these computers, well, anyway, they met their sales goals. I'm not going to waste everyone's time. I think the most exciting thing about GGPI is their name. I love the name Goris Guggenheim, and I would buy a car that was called that just because of the name. But the Polestar that's out there right now is not the most exciting car. I was in one. I didn't drive in it. but it kind of felt a little on the looks like a little Ford Fusion-ish to me, and not the newer model, the 2012 model. But still, it the range is still a little bit short. The car, as most of us knows, is backed by Volvo and made in China. But their cars that they got coming out over the next few years actually are quite good-looking cars. At least the renderings are. What do you think about Polestar and
I don't have a problem
making their
with it.
sales goals?
Good. I mean, it means they're likely to survive, and that's to me the metric, the one thing you absolutely got to do.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna have to check one thing.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't. I should be okay. I'm worried about that computer and make sure that it's actually not sitting on a major road. So I've got a pretty decent viewer base of Nikola and Lucid fans. So you think it's time to satisfy them?
Um, I don't think so because there's no news. So if there's no news, what are we supposed to talk about?
You didn't hear anything come out? I didn't
No,
either. But
no.
I thought we just chit chat back and forth, seeing how many words we could spell out of the word Nikola.
Play Boggle. So yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
cut into this one?
Okay, so Nikola's been announcing orders left and right, and I always have a problem with this name because this is not a name that I can say. It was a Saya?
Who knows? Saya?
Saya?
SAIA? I don't know. Beats me, doesn't matter. The point is, 100
I see
trucks.
their trucks all the time, and I go, oh, there's that truck that starts with an S. Too many vowels. So they have signed a letter of intent. This was announced on the 6th for 100 zero-emission trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to work up a spreadsheet counting all the orders that Nikola is getting in
Oh,
because it's getting too lengthy.
that sounds like a
Um,
Patreon exclusive, is what that sounds like.
yeah, it's not that exciting. You can find that information out pretty easily yourself.
Yeah, but
But you know what? I like to give away things for free because I'm a sweetheart like that.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah. So anyway, Nikola has to send them 3 BEV trucks, and then the rest of the deliveries will occur between this year and 2024, with 25 of them hopefully happening this year,
Okay.
which means that their initial testing needs to happen fairly quickly to see if that they want these trucks and that they're going to follow through on their letter of intent.
Yeah.
So it's there was a point for Nikola right there, and then they went ahead and they got another point with USA Truck. And I have always seen these. I've seen these trucks going down the road. I always literally thought that they were government trucks, but apparently that's their logo is from the U.S. Air Force.
Uh,
So I had no idea. I always thought there was like some really top secret cargo being carried in these trucks.
I'm with the Department of USA Truck.
So
But
they
yeah,
placed an
that's.
order also. But
Oh, how many?
go ahead.
No, I was going to ask how many
Oh, total is 100,
for
um,
USA. Oh, there it
and
is.
for USA, 10 of them are going to be the initial purchase to test them out, see if it works for them. I'm trying to remind my head what the breakup of this was, whether they were all BEV or whether it was split up, because I'm just seeing here, I've got it in my spreadsheet, which I'm not sharing.
Hmm.
Uh, it just says zero emission trucks, which would be either one of them.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah, that's another.
I think the BEVs will be ready well in advance of the FCEVs, of the hydrogen trucks.
Oh yeah,
So,
yes,
and it sounds
and
like Sandy thinks they're a lot closer to polished.
yes, he does. And as you know, I respect his opinion. The last order
Oh,
is what do you got? What you got?
oh, I was forgetting to switch tabs.
Oh,
The last one
you-
is
you're like my wife when she, or no, not my wife, my mom, when you're driving with her and you start to slow down. She goes, oh, and it was like, what's the matter? Oh, nothing.
My grandmother
You
would
just,
stomp on the imaginary brake pedal that she thought was on her side of the car, even though she had never driven a car in her entire life. It is like, Grandma, you need to chill out.
yeah, people do that. I'm not going to label any group that does that more than others, but people do that. Let's just say that. Let's see. And up last, we have an order from Covenant Logistics Group. They signed a letter of intent for 50 Nikola Tray BEVs and FCEVs. Total of 50. And what is the breakdown on those?
It looks like,
They are,
yeah, 10 battery and 40 fuel cell.
that's pretty good, but we'd like to see more of the battery up front, just because that's what's going to be coming out sooner. And
It
you never
doesn't
know, they
matter.
could,
It doesn't matter.
you
They're going
know,
to sell everyone they can build.
they are. And did you see in my latest video that they've got 34 frames for trucks sitting outside the uh, the factory?
I did
They
not
have,
see that. I did not see that one.
yeah, they have 34 semi truck frames that are have just been shipped in within the last couple of weeks, and
Wow.
we're going to be able to keep an eye on those truck frames to see how many are going in, and help us gauge how many are going out, or how quickly they're going to be making them. So we're keeping an eye on supplies that are piling up and how quickly they go away.
Yeah.
So those are the orders, and I do have one more Nikola article that came out today, but just want to take a look in the chat. Do you have any chats that you want to go
Um,
to?
so one that I thought was funny is Paul said, "I wonder how many Tesla semis Pepsi will order when Tesla gets production rolling," and it looks like those deliveries may be happening this month, the first 15 perhaps. Um, where let's see, Tarek wanted to know, where is the recharging and fueling infrastructure for all the trucks? Because you can't just pull up to an Electrify America station; they won't fit. And by the way, I think the answer on that is at the destinations. It's going to be at the warehouses.
I have a feeling JJ is watching this and he's dying to chime in and answer that question for me, but because we have a 30-second delay, I get to answer that. We discovered a trailer that was sitting at the Nikola site the other day that actually had a mobile charging station inside of it. And whether there's one or more charging stations, we don't know the answer to that, because we could see one door was open and there was a tritium fast charger in there, and those chargers are probably going to be the higher capacity ones, which tritium makes them their 375 kilowatt chargers, and those are going to be destination chargers. They're mobile chargers. You're going to be able to take them out to these places, leave them there, plug them in however they need to be plugged in. I know it's not in your standard 110 outlet, but they're going to be able to be wired in, and that's how these vehicles are going to be able to get charged. And that's going to be part of the package with Nikola, is they also want to be a type of energy company, whether it's hydrogen or I don't know what they're exactly going to do with the BEV stuff as far as energy goes, as far as their desires. But they do have the mobile charging stations that they're going to be rebranding the tritium chargers, because they said Nikola right on these chargers. So they've already done at least one that I know of, but I'm sure that there's more.
Okay. Bram also pointed out both of those announcements are obviously Nikola press releases. Yes, they are.
Yes.
But you can verify them. I'm sure you can call those. You know, I believe that doesn't mean that they're not real, but they are definitely press releases.
Yes, I only grabbed the press releases because they were easy to grab in on how my computer is running as far as speed lately, because of I'm overtaxing it.
And they
It
weren't
was just
90% ads.
yeah, that's true. That's also very helpful.
Yeah.
So you guys are welcome. Okay. We got some comments regarding the PIF, which we'll hold off until we get to that. Let's see, who is this? Says French City canceled 100 hydrogen bus order because too expensive, ordering electric buses because it's cheaper. And that could be the case. Maybe because they don't have what is needed to get the hydrogen cheaper, which is a really good deal for electricity, for the electrolyzers. It's all going to depend on who's making them also. Nikola's not making hydrogen buses, so can't really attest to that. Tyler Dunford says the fleet companies must love the Nikola trucks. Wonder how many more orders are coming during Q1 2022. Well, we'll see, and I'll keep my guys up to date on things like that. Last article I got on Nikola was this one that came out. And by the way, all these links that I am putting up will be in the descriptions for both of our videos. So I assume Brian will put his in there also. This is a nice fluff piece for Nikola stock, which you don't typically see them for Nikola. So it's nice to see. If you guys want to take a look at this article, this, like I said, will be in the link. For Nikola stock is likely to defy the skeptics. So I'm sorry for all my Nikola haters. There's people betting against you besides us.
So I will tell you, my skepticism isn't in the company itself. It's that the stock market is irrational. And if somebody comes to me and says, I know a stock that's going to definitely move in this direction in the next year, they don't. Because if they did, they'd be so heavy all in that, I mean, nobody, yeah.
Yeah, anyone who says that is either a liar or just wrong. So I like to benefit on the side of being nice and saying that people are wrong, lying. Yeah. If I would take that approach, then Peter Rawlinson, Elon Musk, every one of these CEOs, they're all liars. I like to say that they were wrong when they mistarget production numbers or dates. They're wrong. They made a mistake.
There's a difference between being wrong and committing fraud. And I know there's a lot of people who still believe that Tesla is not for real, that it's still somehow an elaborate fraud. And that's, I don't know which side of the flat earth they woke up on this morning, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
I saw a funny joke this week that if the earth was flat, Cat would push it off.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I heard a funny joke. Boy, can I tell this one without us getting demonetized? Let's find out. So I met this lovely lady, apparently this is a true story, who was like, what I like for dinner is I like an especially large sausage. To which I said, it may not look like 12 inches, but it definitely smells like a foot.
Oh, God. Can't wait to see the comments as they come up for that one.
So, is it time to talk about Lucid?
Yeah, I know. I've been taunting all my Lucid watchers, so let's do that. Where is my Lucid articles? Oh, I think I closed it by mistake. Sorry, guys.
Oh, well.
So Lucid's got the PIF coming up, and January 19th, the majority of the shares are owned by the Saudis, and they can sell, they can hold, they can sell some, they could do whatever they want. So my take on it is, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just know that there's different scenarios. The Saudis were known for getting out of Tesla too soon. They had invested a lot of money in Tesla. And they sold them very, very early. And not all of them, but they don't have much left. But they had quite a large stakeholding in it. They sold them, and now look where Tesla's gone. So they may have regrets. And they may want to just hold on to most of their Lucid. Or they may just go, well, we've gotten enough out of this. We've got an awesome return already. Let's just go ahead and move on to our next big investment. And they may stay in it. Or they may say, hey, we need X amount of hundreds of millions of dollars. We're only going to sell a small amount. I don't really know what's going to happen on the 19th. Uh, I would love to say I knew, but I would be very cautious going into those days beforehand and just looking to see what the stock is doing. It may be a good time to buy if you're still game on Tesla. The price may take a dip, whether or not anything happens. And that might be a time to buy some more shares. Or it could flat out pancake, but if it does, I still think it would come back within the weeks to months after that.
And
So what do you think, Brian?
that's my take as well. Is that the last time there was a lockup expiration, um, it was one rough week of trading, and the delivery issues may have had more to do with the falling price, and the macro environment has been just awful for the rest of the market over the last couple of weeks. It's I don't think this particular calendar date is going to matter in 6 months. I did get a comment here. Shivansh wants to know, is Tesla actually entering the smartphone industry? No. That was a YouTube rumor. No.
I would like to say I started that one, but I didn't. Let's see. CR says, or wait a minute, someone asked about mods. Imagining the mods I will do to the Lucid Air, says Jerry's Productions. And CR says it's 1,100 horsepower. What kind of mods are you going to do to it? And Bram came back and said, adding cruise control, which is kind of funny. But just to give Jerry some idea, I saw a rendering of a low Lucid. I thought that was kind of cool looking. And then you can always put Christmas lights on the bottom just to add it, just for more lighting. But no, there's definitely things that people will find to do to these cars.
Fuzzy
There's
dice.
always something. Fuzzy dice.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do like the shag carpet on the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
That's always good.
It's classy.
But I'm sure there's going to be someone will find something. You can't do a lot on the Teslas as far as speed goes without getting into some like real heavy duty, crazy stuff. So I don't imagine that there'll be a lot you can do with Lucid except for changing its stance. And of course, there's the inevitable wrap that someone's going to do on the car for the lack of anything else to do.
Yeah.
I want to wrap my car, but I want to do it, but just cause I want to have something that's just a little bit different. Before you know it, every car is going to be a Tesla out there or a Lucid, and they're all going to look the same. And I'm not going to be able to find my car unless I do like some sort of chrome bronze on it.
Or a Neo, which is, going to look exactly like a Tesla and a Lucid.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So
let's see.
We're doing pretty good. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. Just taking a look at the comments.
Jeff did say keeping it classy. I assume in Paul Crowder said grown, long grown. Yeah. Well, that's what happens with my true stories, you see. My buddy who's here with me, we went into a bar and we each got a beer and they said that'll be $5 and he said, put it on my bill. Oh, I didn't mention my friend's a duck.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's the punchline. I'm slapping my knees, guys. You just can't see it.
He's a tough crowd. Tough crowd.
Let's see. Ryan McKee with the often asked question about an Apple and Lucid partnership. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And Derek Marco says PIF already announced not selling any Lucid till 2030. They've been buying. Yeah, well, that's what they're saying right now, but you never know.
And a 9-year time, 8-year horizon is too far out.
If you had millions of shares that unlocked on a certain date, would you tell everyone that you're selling beforehand or anytime earlier than you need to? No, I absolutely would not, because all that's going to do is drop the price.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody. Let's see. Don't Care says he doesn't like the idea Nikola is doing well. He's a Tesla fanboy. I can tell by the way he looks when you talk about Nikola. Brian, you want to give your stance on Nikola?
I don't hate Nikola. I definitely hate Trevor Milton. I think he's the worst thing that could have ever happened to that company. I think Nikola is a truck company, and they have aspirations beyond that, but right now they just got to build trucks. So if they can survive the cash burn until they can get enough units rolling to actually not keep losing money, they'll survive. But it's hard to be a fanboy about a semi-truck because I don't drive semi-trucks.
No, it's hard to get like emotionally attached to like, ooh, that's a sexy semi truck.
Yeah.
But I'm going to disagree with you on the one thing that you said, and I know it's your opinion. Trevor Milton is probably the best thing that happened for
Yeah.
Nikola, because I don't think that they would exist without him. And then the Hindenburg report was probably the best thing that happened for Nikola,
Yeah. Well,
because then
yeah.
it got rid of Trevor.
Yeah.
Because if Trevor Milton was still there, I don't think we'd be looking at anything right now. We wouldn't be discussing Nikola because there'd be nothing to discuss. Because I think he would have found a way to run that into the ground. I heard stories that he wanted to have a running track up on the roof of the site, just so that he can go running in the mornings or whatever. And there was several other things that I heard that were just outlandish things that he wanted in all of it at the construction site, at the factory site, that were just out of touch with reality. So,
So
like I'm
that's
saying, it's
so,
good that he's gone.
So that's, I'm sure, all we had to say about Nikola, right? Or I mean, about Lucid, right?
No. This is what everyone, I think, has been waiting for. And that would be, we went out to Lucid today. We did not do a flyover per se. We didn't go around the factory, but we did go get up in the air and take a picture. And we've got 82 total cars in the lot. That is up from our last shot, which was on Friday. And I think there were 62 or 63. Some notable things about this shot is that on my side of the screen, I'm going to put my arrows, Brian, over or my cursor, where it says 13 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those cars appear to be the same cars that we saw last Friday, including the two that are just sitting there by themselves. I'm going to say most of them, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. But they appear to be the cars in the same spot. The 12 cars that are below them, we're going to go counterclockwise. Those are all new cars that were parked there, except I think for one. This is me comparing the cars on where they're parked. So all those cars seem to be in new spots than they were on Friday. And there were 5 sitting out there, like around the charging stations. So it could be some of those cars. And then they just parked them. The 5 cars in the middle are all cars that came from somewhere else. We did not, there were no cars parked there on Friday. The 3 car haulers, there could be cars in them. They could be completely empty. So it's possible there's up to 18 cars in those 3 car haulers, or there could be 0. Now, the 43 cars, I looked at the cars from last week, and these cars have been moved. The cars from last Friday are not in the same spot as these 43. And I believe there was 20 some odd cars there last week. So I think there was an increase of 19 cars in that section right there. And then directly above that, we have 2 cars. You can't see them. They're not there because they're out of the frame. Actually, they're not. Very hard to see. But the top right corner of that box that says 2 cars, there's a car that is sitting at the test track, ready to go around the test track. This is the first car that we actually spotted on the test track. And we were wondering if they're actually using the test track because we never saw a car by it at all today. Wow, look at that. I just got a tweet popped up. Got Brian Cha out there, or David Cha. God, I keep messing up his name. Mr. Cha has already just tweeted out that there was 82 cars out there. I hope he didn't take a screenshot of that. That's my job. But anyway, right in the top right-hand corner where it says 2 cars, there's a car right there. And directly above the 2, you can't see it because it's driving towards us. There was another car that may have just came out of the factory or maybe had just finished a little test run. Don't know, but there there's 80 cars in this frame, and there's another 2 that you can't see. One is you can kind of see. So we had 82 cars, definitely an increase in the cars that we saw on Friday. And I think there's probably Brian. Sorry, Brian. I don't know where I get David from. But anyway, Brian just commented, cha-cha. Did you put out the picture? I can't even look right now. My computer will crash if I go to another page. But I did get notified.
So what you haven't brought up yet is why is it that we're discussing this? What's the importance?
Well, we discuss this because we discuss it every day that we get a picture, because this is important to know how many cars are actually being produced. It's going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to count the cars because there's going to be so many, just like at Tesla's Shanghai, where there's 1,000 cars in the parking lot. But the issue right now is these 43 cars over here on the right, because that's a group of cars that were sitting there for several weeks. And Torque News put out an article saying that there are fit and finish issues. And not fit and finish issues, but fit and finish parts issues, as in like some of these parts have not been delivered, or that there was a problem with some parts and they didn't like the fit and finish and didn't want to send them out that way. It's been unclear. And so Torque News put out this article a couple days ago saying that there was members of the Lucid Owners Forum that on December 30th got some messages saying that their Dream Editions will be delayed. This is a snapshot of them right here, which I'm not going to zoom in for, but their Dream Editions are being delayed because of these issues. Someone else made a video complaining that, oh my God, these cars are pieces of shat, and they can't be sending these cars out non-finished, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to look at it as merely a hiccup in the road of production when you're starting a brand new company trying to do something like this. I imagine they're going to get the cars taken care of. It would have been nice if they could have. Overall, in 6 months, most people won't care. They would have gotten their cars. And I'd rather have a car delivered perfectly or with less issues than I would with a car with issues. My Tesla Model Y had issues when I picked it up last March. I just picked up a brand new coach, an RV, in November. It was missing the hubcaps. It was missing the wiring harness for the right turn mirror so that you couldn't see it on the video. It was missing a number of other parts that were either broken or just not working, but they delivered it anyway. Not uncommon. And that was by Jayco, which is one of the top RV manufacturers in the country. So you're going to see something like this. Lucid took the approach of not delivering them with poorly fitting parts or missing parts, which is at the beginning of a production might be the better way to go.
So I've got a comment here from Jeff saying Torque News is awkward. And yeah, I'm not a fan of Torque News. They are, to me, what I used to consider the worst of the clickbait, but somehow there are absolutely worse channels now that just make things up, like the Tesla cell phone. But yeah, Torque News, I don't trust things they say.
I would agree. There's been some real questionable articles that have come out, and it makes them just a little bit less trustworthy. I mean, this is just reporting what they're reading. Whether they dug into this a little bit to try and get more information, I don't know. They did give me a shout out, another article, so I'll give them props for that. That's some smart journalistic abilities right there, giving me a shout out. But I would like to know more about these fit and finish issues. Whether or not we ever will hear anything about it, I don't know.
Well, if they're real, then we will.
Yeah. And if it's limited and it's going to be corrected, so be it. Every car has had these problems of some sort. So it's just, let's not make a bigger deal of it than it actually is.
So
you got any comments, or you got something else?
No, but I need to get us winding down.
Well, we got 5 minutes. We got some comments.
You got 5 minutes. Okay, go make them quick, baby.
All right. Daniel believes that China is going to take away a big chunk of the EV market from Tesla and Lucid, and NIO is ready.
Maybe.
I believe, I believe that China can, whether or not they can get into the U.S. market because of the tariffs that will be on their car. If they start building them here, that's one way to get into this country a little bit cheaper.
Sure.
And of course, that involves creating very large factories. Brian says DE number 185 is the highest we've seen. Dream Edition 185 is the highest we've seen, and yes, some deliveries are delayed because of finished parts. Mark Potocnik, I can never say his name. Mark P. There is no EV market. It is a car market. Sales are taken from ICE cars. That's true. For now, I think that's what he's saying that in regards to Daniel's comment about the Chinese EV manufacturers taking away from Tesla and Lucid. I think that they will grab more ICE market in the beginning than they will Tesla and Lucid, and people are going to naturally distrust Chinese automobiles for a long time to come.
Jeff Songster pointed out that Tesla's ramp was far, far more awkward than any of these companies.
That's true.
Yeah, it's absolutely
That's true. And look at them now.
Yeah.
Don't care is quoting President Biden. He says, "Come on, man." And then he said, "Every company that has competitors are affected because if they don't have competition, they will sell more."
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's not stray from the fact that you like Tesla enough to let other people know you like them with your pick. Oh, he's talking to Don't Care because he's got a Tesla symbol.
Okay. So as a reminder, this live cast is brought to you every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. It's hosted by two of the best in the business simulcasts on Bear's Workshop and My Tesla Weekend. I did want to say a quick thanks to my Patreons who get early access, all that good stuff. And Bear's got Patreons as well, but here's the thing, Bear's got a target, and if he can hit it, if you guys like his drone footage, he's going to do more of it. He will be able to do more.
If we can get more, we'll be flying out on Mondays on a regular basis. We did not fly out there yesterday, but we wanted to. If any kind of help that can help us get over the edge of offsetting the costs that are associated with going out there as much as we do, we will add flyover days. I do want to thank my patrons. We've added quite a bit in the last couple of weeks with this incentive to get us out there some more. So we appreciate everyone who's signed up, and we appreciate everyone who's already signed up. Brian, I believe, has another live stream on Friday night. Is that right? Are you still doing that?
I am doing it. I might, based on this, I might just pre-tape it. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. And I've got my next live stream will be tomorrow. We're going to do the Lucid flyover. I imagine I'll have my computer set up, and it's going to be like lightning.
Yeah.
So I'm real excited about that, except for the fact I'm going to have to spend the next 12 hours setting it up.
Jeff did want us to remember that the biggest news of the week, we did actually forget to mention this. I'm not sure how we forgot. Mary led.
Oh, how did we miss that? Oh, you know how we missed that? We didn't give GM's EV production number because we did it last week because it was so easy to count.
27.
26.
26. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that time. So thanks to everybody for being here, and we'll see you at the very worst next week.
Yes, thanks for watching. I will see my guys tomorrow, and we will be back here next Tuesday at 4 p.m. And Peyton, just want to make sure I get an answer to your question. I will type it in the comments, and anything else that needs to be answered, I'll answer it real quick in the comments. So thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.